how to set up an effective Facebook business page. So probably everybody has a personal Facebook page. So, and then depending on how active you are with that, not that that really matters for this purpose, but how Facebook has it set up. So you have to have a personal page, and then under your personal page will go your real estate business page. So you'll name that separately, but you'll be able to access it through your personal, login information. So that's kind of how you set that up. So operationally, that's how that goes. If anybody has any questions on how to do that, you can either Google it, and there's many articles written to sort of help you get that accomplished, or give myself a call, and I'll walk you through how to do that. So that's getting your page set up, and then kind of what should go on your page. There's a couple of different ways of thinking about that. You can sort of dovetail off of the Dalton Wade website. The photos we have there are available for everyone to use. So you could sort of have, what we have as the home page as your picture on your personal real estate business account. Again, just ask. We are putting that on Google Drive, and everybody will be able to, access that. Or if you want something else, that's fine too. It's really whatever you think is best for your own personal real estate brand. The big thing about creating, a business page, for your real estate business is, the content, the things that are there. That's really the hardest part. So, what do you need there? Well, I kind of touched upon that in terms of, as a company, what we're going to be doing. So you can kind of dovetail off of that. So again, certainly your own personal listings definitely need to be put up there. If you're doing an open house on your listing, you would want to post that at the time. If you sell something either as a buyer's agent or as a listing agent, you would kind of want to do a notification of that. And then the last piece would be, any type of writing, blog material. We'll be generating probably, so as a company we have kind of two websites. We have the Dalton Wade site, which is kind of the consumer-facing site, and then we have Join Dalton Wade, which is for the agent. So we'll be writing probably 3 articles a week, 2 for one site, 1 for the other, and then the next week 2 articles, for the site we wrote 1 on. So every 2 weeks there'll be 3 articles. And even the stuff that's applicable to the agents, like a lot of times we might write on, sort of home contingency or the financing contingency, something that's educational for, the real estate agent. May also be very applicable to your buyer. So maybe with some just a little bit of tweaking, it can be changed and then put up, and then it's some nice content for, potential buyer clients. So, you kind of got to pick and choose in terms of, what you put up. But the goal really for you as a real estate professional is to, kind of become the expert. You want to have, as you build your following and people liking your page and people that you're engaging with, you want them, to see that you're the expert. You're producing good content. It helps to sort of promote you as a knowledgeable professional. And, Facebook is very, very powerful. It has huge reach. This is kind of Facebook 101. There is sort of a little bit more advanced course. We're not going to kind of get into that today. We may do that next week or, in the next couple weeks in terms of, potentially some advertising, some different things you can do to sort of drive actually some traffic to your Facebook page, but maybe a little bit too much for today. So again, what you're trying to accomplish through your content is, promoting yourself as the expert, and then, engaging with, people that potentially can use your service. Now, what you don't want to do, and this is something that unfortunately happens often, is that you start, you put up a couple posts, and then you peter out. So then your page looks it looks like you're not there. And that's really the message you don't want to be giving off, because again, if somebody Googles you, there's a good chance, they Google Phil Wade real estate agent, and my Facebook page, isn't active. It potentially can work against me. So, because it doesn't look like I'm doing anything. Is he really in real estate or not? What have you. So if you're going to do it, it's kind of, a commitment, and it's a commitment of, not a ton of time, but, it's the way to think of Facebook is it's another channel to get business. It's not, you're not going to, it probably isn't going to be your only channel. You've got to do other things. We talk about that all the time. Maybe you get referred leads, maybe you purchase leads, maybe you're doing some cold calling, warm calling, whatever that strategy is, Facebook potentially can be a part of it, but it probably isn't, your entire strategy. And then the Facebook, again, is really is kind of an extension of your sphere of influence. So, in the real estate brokerage business, new agents, everyone talks about your sphere of influence. Your sphere of influence is, your family, your friends, business associates, people that know you. So on Facebook, again, you can, sort of show yourself in a better light. You can, have them follow your page. And then in addition to that, there's many, many, many other people out there that, you're able to, kind of connect with through that channel. So that's kind of Facebook in a nutshell. Any questions or thoughts? Leo? Good? Tim?
No.
Yeah. Elena?
Yeah, you said that probably that's too much for today, but how you can increase the traffic other than putting the content in technical?
Well, I mean, you can buy, and I'm sure everybody has seen, you can buy sponsored ads. So you would, you would pay Facebook to run an ad about you. But the key there, and this is why I didn't really want to get too much into that today, is that, when they click on that ad, you have to take them somewhere so that you can capture their information. So that's called a landing page typically. That may be something on your website, your personal website. That might be a specific page you've developed to have, you're gonna spend X amount of dollars, advertising on Facebook. People are gonna click on your ads, and then, they're gonna go from there to somewhere. And then that somewhere has to have the ability to capture them, because if you don't capture them, you've kind of wasted money, is really what it is. So that's a little bit more involved in terms of, when I had my business up north, Facebook was a very powerful tool, and it was incredible. I mean, I was shocked when we started advertising there. We were basically getting a click to the website. It was costing us a nickel. So if we spent $50, we were getting like 1,000 clicks. It was crazy. And then out of that 1,000 clicks, we were getting probably 20 people to register. But we had a little bit more sophisticated site. They could look at how that worked was they would land on the page of the property. So we were promoting a property. They would land on that page. All the information had little locks on it. And then they could look at like 4 pictures. And then when they got to the 5th picture, it forced them to register. So it was a little bit more involved in terms of how we were, but that's really the key, is in terms of capturing their contact information. But if you just have your page, one way of doing that is, if somebody's following you, is through like an instant message to them. Maybe if somebody's liked your page, you might be able to start up a dialogue with them, and then sort of kind of get to know them, that way. So that's kind of, for a later date, and somebody that's, kind of the first step is to sort of, get your page up, get your page going, get the content there, either generate it yourself, use the company's content, and then kind of see what happens. And it seems like if you're getting some traction through it, you might want to take it to the next level and actually do some advertising.
And you will be available to help if if it's needed to set up the page.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty. I mean, it's just like setting up. I mean, it's just right under your personal page, but it can kind of show you how to do that. And then typically you're going to have sort of like your lead photo. It's very similar to your personal page, except that it's a business page, and then you're able to access it through that. And then you have to develop followers, friends, and kind of go from there. So that kind of concludes, today's session. Obviously, and always available offline to talk about this or any other topic that's pertinent to, helping you with your real estate business. Thanks so much for tuning in.
I think it stopped. It says stop broadcast. But I don't